bring glory to your holy and divine name. All these blessings, Lord, we ask in our Son Jesus' name for Christ's sake. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilwoman. All right, tonight we are going to recognize a very special lady that's been with the city and really led the city for many, many years. And I'm going to ask Mayor Kelly if he would to come up and present this special recognition this afternoon.
Thank you, Chairman Henderson. I think we just surprised Miss Daisy, but I'd like to read a proclamation for a very special woman who's made a huge difference to the city over the course of these many years. Whereas Daisy W. Madison has served the city of Chattanooga since 1992 under the administrations of Mayors Gene Roberts, John Kinsey, Bob Corker, Ron Littlefield, Andy Burke, and now me. And whereas Daisy began her career with the city of Chattanooga as deputy finance officer, was appointed city treasurer in 2002, and was promoted to city finance officer in 2005. And whereas Daisy has led the finance department through many challenges and developments, always looking for ways to improve processes for internal efficiencies and citizen services. And whereas Daisy was instrumental in the city obtaining the Government Finance Officers Association Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting Award, the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award, and the popular annual Financial Reporting Award for 29, 27, and 10 consecutive years, respectively. That was a mouthful. And whereas Daisy's commitment to her profession and her community has been recognized through many awards, including the Association of Government Accountants Finance Manager of the Year Award, Beta Alpha Psi Accounting Honor Society, Meritorious Service Award from the Department of Public Works, Girls Inc. Unbought and Unbossed Award, and the American Lung Association as a Woman of Distinction. And whereas Daisy has served many state and national professional organizations, including the Association of Government Accountants, the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, Tennessee Society of Certified Public Accountants, Government Finance Officers Association, and the State of Tennessee Water and Wastewater Financing Board. And whereas Daisy's dedication, leadership, integrity, and fiscal responsibility have been valuable assets and will be sorely missed by the public servants and citizens of Chattanooga. Now, therefore, I, Tim Kelly, Mayor of the City of Chattanooga, do hereby proclaim December 21st today as Daisy Madison Day. And I would just add, over and above the Daisy and I both are finance nerds. We have that in common. And for the council and the citizens here assembled, our bond rating was recently upgraded to AAA by Fitch. We now enjoy a AAA bond rating across the board, which has lowered our borrowing costs here to historically low levels. And that accrues the benefit of every citizen of Chattanooga, and that is nearly entirely down to Daisy's great fiscal stewardship and management. So thank you so much, Daisy. You'll be sorely missed.
Thank you is all I can have to say, because nobody listens to me when I say don't do this sort of stuff. But just know that I am so grateful. It has been indeed a really, really great privilege, a great honor to serve the citizens of Chattanooga and to work with all of the people here, starting with the mayor's office, starting and going on to the council, and up to all of the people at the staff levels, to the administrative levels, and all of the city departments. It has really, really, truly been an honor. And I couldn't ask for better support from everybody. So I don't deserve this. As I always say, all of the honors really, truly belong to the city of Chattanooga and in its entirety. And I don't know, where's Cheryl? She's not here. How did all these people get here? Two. Well, thank you all for coming. And would you all mind if I ask my family to stand?
Please, yes, absolutely.
All of my family, would you please stand? Thank you all. So the only person that is missing tonight, aside from some of my children that are out of town, is my husband. He has been such a support during in my entire career, quite honestly. So I hate that he's not here to see this, but you know, not his namesake, but his look-alike is standing right over there. Yeah. So thanks again, and Mayor, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hate that I won't get to work with you, but I will get to watch you from afar.
You know where to find me anytime, day or night.
Thank you, Daddy.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Chairman.
And you know, you have one final job. My last request is to teach Mr. Goldberg your conservative approach to budgeting. Miss Daisy, if you'd like to go out into the lobby maybe and take some pictures with your family, I think now would be an appropriate time to do so. All right. Could I have a motion on the minutes, please? All right, we have a motion on the minutes to approve with the proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill. Councilman Ledford. Councilman Hester. Councilwoman Burrs. Councilman Byrd. Councilwoman Coonrod. Vice Chairman Smith. Chairman Henderson.
Yes,
8 yeses.
the ayes have it. All right, council, if there are no objections, I'm going to ask the clerk if she could read under planning items 5A through K, which would take us down to our form-based code amendments. Items A through K with no objections. Okay, Madam Clerk?
Item A, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone properties located at 5251 and 5313 Champion Road from R1 residential zone and C5 neighborhood commercial zone to C2 convenience commercial zone subject to certain conditions. Item B, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 1406, 1412, and 1414 Morris Hill Road from R1 residential zone and R2 residential zone to RTZ residential townhouse zero lot line part and UGC urban general commercial zone with a condition. Item C, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 503 West 26th Street from M1 manufacturing zone to UGC urban general commercial zone. Item D, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 1604 Fagan Street from R3 residential zone to UGC urban general commercial zone subject to certain conditions. Item E, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 1030 East Main Street from M1 manufacturing zone to UGC urban general commercial zone, subject to certain conditions. Item F, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 2611 Andrew Street from R1 residential zone to R2 residential zone. Item G, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 2405 Bailey Avenue from R2 residential zone to UGC urban general commercial zone subject to certain conditions. Item H, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone properties located at 1518 and 1520 Ryan Street from R2 residential zone to RTZ residential townhouse zero lot line zone. Item I, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone properties located at 1603 and 1605 Old Ringo Road from R2 residential zone to RTZ residential townhouse zero lot line zone. Item J, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 912 Glenwood Drive from R1 residential zone to RTZ residential townhouse zero lot line zone. And item K, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone properties located in the 2700 block of Glass Street from R1 residential zone to RTZ residential townhouse zero lot line zone, subject to certain conditions.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Make a motion to approve the group.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve items 5A through K with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Councilwoman Coonrod.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to state for the record for G, is that Justin and I have tried several times to get with the neighborhood in regards to this item to hear their concerns. Several attempts, nothing panned out, no shows for meetings, etc. And I deferred this from last week to give them the opportunity to talk. Today we're just going to move forward with it. So I most definitely agree with the motion.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. We have a motion on the floor to approve items 5A through K with a proper second. Any other questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Coonrod, Councilman Byrd, Councilwoman Burrs, Councilman Hester, Councilman Ledford, Councilwoman Hill, Vice Chairman Smith, Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
8 yeses.
Motion to approve items 5A through K does carry. Now, Madam Clerk, if there are no objections from the council, let's read items 5L through P.
Item L, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, Article 16, Downtown Chattanooga Form-Based Code, Division 1, Introductory Provisions, Section 38-692, legal requirements by adding a process of amendments and adding new zones to the form-based code. Item M, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, Article 16, Downtown Chattanooga Form-Based Code, Division 14, the Bend, by adding a new zone, Bend Riverfront Zone BR 12. Item N, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, Article 16, Downtown Chattanooga Form-Based Code, Division 3, rules for all zones, Section 38-698, measurements and exceptions, Division 14, the Bend, Section 38-759, BCX, commercial mixed-use zone, Section 38-760, BPK, Parks and Open Space Zone, Section 38-761, New Streets, Section 38-762, additional conditions for the Bend, and Section 38-763, allowed uses. Item O, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone parts of 1033 and 1067 Riverfront Parkway, an unaddressed property being tax map number 145B8004 and part of the adjacent railroad right-of-way from M1 manufacturing zone, C, BCX 12 part and BCX 20 Bend commercial mixed use and BPK part, Bend Parks and Open Space to a BR12 Bend Riverfront Zone. Item P, an ordinance closing and abandoning a portion of the unopened 200 block of Coward Street and the 200 to 300 block of Tremont Street as detailed on the attached map subject to certain conditions.
Councilman Ledford, followed by Councilwoman Burrs.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wish Councilwoman Dotley was here. I'd like to thank her for her support and leadership. It's not every day we get to add a new zone to our code, and this one is extremely special to our city in regards to the band. And but she has been very instrumental and supportive of this entire process, and I appreciate her leadership out of District 7 on this. And with that, I'd like to move the group for.
All right. All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve items L through P with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill? Councilman Ledford? Councilman Hester? Councilwoman Burrs? Councilman Byrd? Councilwoman Coonrod? Vice Chairman Smith? Chairman Henderson?
Yes,
8 yeses.
so moved. We now move to ordinances on first reading. I will be asking for the applicant and any opposition that may be present. Madam Clerk, under planning, item 6A, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone part of a property located at 5390 Hickson Pike from R1 residential zone to C2 convenience commercial zone.
Case number 2021-0196. Is the applicant present? Okay, thank you. Is there any opposition to this request present? Vice Chair Smith, I see an applicant with no opposition present.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. May I ask the applicant a question, please?
Applicant, if you would come to the podium, please.
Ms. Rennick as well. This item was deferred from last week based on some conditions to be placed on it and needed clarification from the applicant. I spoke with Mr. Ramsey, and he did state that there is the potential of a car wash in at this site, which was one of the stricken condition or one of the conditions that would strike that use. So what I would like to do and what I agreed to do is remove that as one of the restricted uses,
Okay.
but I am going to include the others.
Okay. If you guys, if you talked with him and he's
I did.
okay with that, then I'm fine with
Okay,
it.
I spoke with him earlier today. So Miss Rennick, the conditions will be as you read last week, with the exception of car wash as part of that.
Okay, would you like me to reread that?
Yes, ma'am.
Adult-oriented establishments, self-service storage facilities, gas stations, open-air markets, vehicular repair or service facilities, and wholesaling with accessory warehousing uses shall be prohibited.
Great. Okay, and I'm going to move for approval to get it on the table, sir.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second.
And then I'd like to move to amend to add a condition with the language that Ms. Rennick read.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to amend with such language as read with a proper second. So at this time, are there any questions about the amendment that we are about to vote on? This is for the amendment. All right, Madam Clerk, roll call, please, for the amendment.
Councilwoman Coonrod? Councilman Byrd? Councilwoman Burrs? Councilman Hester? Councilman Ledford? Councilwoman Hill? Vice Chairman Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Henderson?
Yes,
8 yeses.
the amendment does carry.
All right, move to approve as amended, sir.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve item 5A as amended. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill? Councilman Ledford? Councilman Hester? Councilwoman Burrs? Councilman Byrd? Councilwoman Coonrod? Vice Chairman Smith? Chairman Henderson?
Yes,
8 yeses.
motion does carry. Moving now to 6B, Madam Clerk.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to lift conditions of number 11B and number 11C from ordinance number 13110, previous case number 2016-0060. From the properties located in 2300 and 2400 blocks of Elam Lane and the 2300 through 2500 blocks of Gun Barrel Road, 2321 Lifestyle Way, and 7344 McCutcheon Road.
Case 2021-0213, is the applicant present? All right, is there any opposition to this case present? Councilman Ledford, I am seeing an applicant present, but no opposition present.
Mr. Chairman, I have spoken to the applicant, and we have agreed to ask for a deferral until February 1st, please.
Okay, was that February 1st, sir?
February 1.
Okay. All right, we have a motion on the floor to defer until February the 1st. That has been properly second. Any questions or comments before we vote? Councilwoman Coonrod.
Thank you, Chair. I was just wondering, like, what are the conditions that they wanted to be lifted? Because I pulled up the ordinance and it's B and C is really talking about, extending the traffic lanes, but I'll yield to Councilman Ledford and deferring it until we, I guess, further information.
Go ahead.
This case has been in the public eye for nearly 60 days now, and there's some conditions, additional language that has not been worked out with CDOT and the applicant, and we're still working through some language.
All right. Any other questions or comments before we vote on a deferral? All right, this is deferring to February the 1st. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Coonrod, Councilman Byrd, Councilwoman Burrs, Councilman Hester, Councilman Ledford, Councilwoman Hill, Vice Chairman Smith, Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
8 yeses.
Motion to defer until February the 1st does carry. Madam Clerk, 6C, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone properties located at 5116, 5120, and 5134 Highway 58, and several unaddressed tracts, 120N, D012, 014, 015, 016, and 018 of land in the 5100 block of Highway 58 from C5 neighborhood commercial zone to C2 convenience commercial zone, subject to certain conditions.
Case 2021-0169, is the applicant present? All right, thank you. Is there any opposition to this case present? Yes, okay, I thought so. All right, Councilman Hester, I'm going to go ahead and ask that the applicant come forward and give him a 7-minute presentation plus 2-minute rebuttal, and then 9 minutes for the opposition, since we have opposition. Mr. IT, if we could get 7 minutes on the clock, please. Thank you.
Well, good evening, council, once again.
evening.
I would like to start out by saying that I have enjoyed these past 6 to 8 weeks of deferrals, because I really have had an opportunity to get to meet the residents of Mimosa Circle. They really are, I mean, they really are, they're great people. I've enjoyed the interactions I've had with them and have the utmost respect for them all. Unfortunately, I've kind of got an idea of where tonight's vote's going to be headed, and I don't believe it's going to be heading in our favor. This part of Chattanooga is going to be seeing tremendous growth, pressures, and opportunities along the Highway 58 corridor. And it's just really a matter of time as far as when these properties do get developed, whether it's this year, next year, or in coming years. I've been rezoning properties in Chattanooga for about 8 years now, and I can honestly say that through the collaboration of these conditions that we put together for the Mimosa neighborhood, I really do feel like they bring the most protection for them. The current C5 zone does not have any protections when it does get developed, and I would hate for it to see that happen. But unfortunately, I was not able to enlighten the neighbors to let them see my perspective on that. So with that, I still encourage council to consider this rezone request with all of the conditions. Councilman Hester asked last minute last week's meeting if we would consider even putting limitations on the self-storage, and we have agreed to limit the hours from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. So that's an additional condition that we talked about last week. So with that, I'll just turn it over to the neighbors at Mimosa.
All right, thank you. And you will have an opportunity for a 2-minute rebuttal. All right, I'm going to ask if there are any in opposition that would like to speak at this time. You will have a total of 9 minutes. So if there are several that would like to speak, I would just ask that you divide up your time.
To the council, thank you for all your services. My name is Alonzo Noble. I'm a resident of Mimosa Circle, and yes, it have been a learning experience for the last 8 weeks that we've had opportunity to take out our busy schedule and to take time to come and stand before you. And yes, we've had many discussions, and everybody does have their perspectives on what we want to see. Thank Mr. Allen. We've gotten to know him better than what we did when we came in here. So it's not about getting angry with one another, but discussing business. That's what we've done. And so we still want to stand with the C5. And we ask the council to consider our recommendations also. Thank you so much. And Merry Christmas to all of you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Jones, would you like your 2-minute rebuttal?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you. Councilman Hester.
To the good neighbors of Mimosa Circle, to Mr. Freeman, thank you for your commitment, your dedication to Pastor Noble. Thank you for your devotion, your passion, and all you guys. Thank you just being here. But I believe at this point we have to deny this request. Thank you all.
Is that in the form of a motion you're
I
moving to
motion
deny?
to deny it. Correct.
Okay. All right, we have a motion on the floor to deny. Do I have a second? Okay. All right, we have a motion on the floor to deny with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Hill. Councilman Ledford. Councilman Hester. Councilwoman Burrs. Councilman Byrd. Councilwoman Coonrod. Vice Chairman Smith. Chairman Henderson.
Yes.
That's 8 yeses.
Motion to deny carries 8-0. All right, Madam Clerk, moving now to item 6D, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone properties located at 2003, 2005, 2007, and 2009 Bailey Avenue from R3MD Moderate Density Zone to UGC Urban General Commercial Zone, subject to certain conditions.
Case 2021-0192. Is the applicant present? Okay, thank you. Is there any opposition to this case present? All right, Councilwoman Coonrod, I see an applicant, but no opposition present. And I think maybe this is the case that you were referring to earlier that was deferred. All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Coonrod. Councilman Byrd. Councilwoman Burrs. Councilman Hester. Councilman Ledford. Councilwoman Hill. Vice Chairman Smith. Chairman Henderson.
Yes,
8 yeses.
so moved. Madam Clerk, 6E, please.
An ordinance closing and abandoning 2 sewer easements located in the 2500 block of Gun Barrel Road, tax map number 149AB017.01, as detailed on the attached map, subject to certain conditions.
Councilman Ledford,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Move to approve.
a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill. Councilman Ledford. Councilman Hester. Councilwoman Burrs. Councilman Byrd. Councilwoman Coonrod. Vice Chairman Smith. Chairman Henderson.
Yes,
8 yeses.
so moved. Moving now to resolutions. Madam Clerk, if there are no objections from this council, I would like for you to read 7A, B, and C together as a package.
Item A, a resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a lease agreement with Brian M. Cotter in substantially the form attached for lease of the Brown Acres rental house at 324 Bass Road, further identified as tax map number 158 IC 021.01 in consideration of $500 per month, and the providing of security services at Brown Acres and Brainerd Golf Courses commencing on February 1, 2022 for the term of 4 years and the option to renew for 2 additional terms of 3 years each. Item B, a resolution authorizing the interim administrator for the Department of Economic Development to apply for and, if awarded, accept a public art grant from the Lyndhurst Foundation to support the completion of the artwork Moonrise by artist Mark Fornes of the Very Many LLC located at the Wheeling Foundry Trailhead, and to authorize the execution of the grant in the amount of $75,000 for revised artwork contract in substantially the form attached with the artist in the amount of $445,750. Item C, a resolution authorizing the city of Chattanooga to join the state of Tennessee and other local governments as participants in the Tennessee State Subdivision Opioid Abatement Agreement and approving the related settlement agreements.
Councilwoman Burrs. All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve items 7A, B, and C with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Coonrod, Councilman Byrd, Councilwoman Burrs, Councilman Hester, Councilman Ledford, Councilwoman Hill, Vice Chairman Smith, Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
8 yeses.
Motion to approve does carry. Now, Madam Clerk, under Public Works, if you would, with no objections from the council, read together as a package 7D through J. I'll tell you what, let's take D through I. We'll take J separately.
Item D, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to execute the sales order number 1210547 with the Electric Power Board, EPB, related to the secondary power service for the Influent Relief Pump Station, IRPS, located at 122 Rolling Gap Road as part of the Chattanooga Wet Weather Storage Facility located at Hound Road in the amount of $67,000. Item E, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to award contract number Y21003-201 to Integrated Properties LLC of Chattanooga, Tennessee, Warner Park Brick Fence Repair in the amount of $78,730 with a contingency amount of $5,000 for an amount not to exceed $83,730. Item F, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Industrial Development Board for the city of Chattanooga for the design and construction of the multiple wet weather storage facilities in order to reduce wet weather sewer overflows within the regional sanitary sewer collection systems relative to a project called the Environmental and Economic Infrastructure Improvement Project, E2I2, in the amount of $125 million. Item G, a resolution authorizing the renewal contract number E18007-101 on-call blanket contracts for architectural services, resolution number 29703 for year 4 of 4 with 1, Allen and Holsham, Inc., 2, Artec Design Group, Inc., 3, Dirthing, Henley, and Wilkerson Architects, PLLC, 4, Franklin Architects, 5, Reardon and Carroll Architects, Inc., and 6, MBI Companies, Inc., formerly TWH Architects, Inc., for year 4 of a 4-year term with these 6 professional firms estimated at $1.5 million total annually for use by all departments. Item H, a resolution authorizing renewal contract number E18008-101 on-call blanket contracts for structural engineering services, resolution number 29704 for year 4 of 4 with 1, Allen and Holsham, Inc., 2, Alfred Benesh and Company, 3, CTI Engineers, Inc., 4, Estes Russell Engineering, Inc., 5, Integrated Structural Services, Inc., 6, March Adams and Associates, Inc., and 7, Volker, Inc., for year 4 of a 4-year term with these 7 professional firms estimated at $1.5 million total annually for use by all departments. Item I, a resolution authorizing renewal contract number E18009-101 on-call blanket contracts for mechanical, electrical, and plumbing engineering services, resolution number 29702 for year 4 of 4 with 1 Campbell and Associates, Inc., and 2 March Adams and Associates, Inc. for year 4 of a 4-year term with these 2 professional firms estimated at $300,000 total annually for use by all departments.
What's the pleasure of the council? We have a motion on the floor to approve items 7D through I with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill. Councilman Ledford. Councilman Hester. Councilwoman Burrs. Councilman Byrd. Councilwoman Coonrod. Vice Chairman Smith. Chairman Henderson.
Yes.
8 yeses.
Motion to approve the D through I does carry. Now, Madam Clerk, 7J, please.
A resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Tom Hutka as the administrator for the Department of Public Works.
Councilwoman Burrs. We have a motion on the floor to approve Tom Hutka with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? All right. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Coonrod. Councilman Byrd. Councilwoman Burrs. Councilman Hester. Councilman Ledford. Councilwoman Hill. Vice Chairman Smith. Chairman Henderson.
Yes.
8 yeses.
Motion to approve Mr. Hutka as our new Director of Public Works does carry. Mr. Hutka, if you are listening or watching online, congratulations and welcome aboard. All right, that takes us up to purchases this afternoon. And I believe we have to have Mr. Goldberg to present those to us.
You're stuck with me.
Well, life could be worse.
All right, we have 11 purchases tonight and 1 RFP format. So I will read through these as fast as I can. First is from Fleet Management Division of Public Works. Request to increase contract with Lee Smith, Inc. for service repairs and outside parts on all medium and heavy duty vehicles. The amount of the increase is $450,000 for a new annual amount of $750,000. With municipal garage staffing shortages and global increase in cost of parts, this increase is needed to cover repairs to essential vehicles through contract renewal date of April 7th, 2022. Second, also from Fleet, request to increase contract with Chattanooga Truck Center for service repairs and outside parts on all medium and heavy duty vehicles. The amount of the increase is $235,000 for a new annual amount of $410,000 for the same reasons stated above. Third, also from Fleet, another request to increase contract with Tennessee Kenworth Inc. for service repairs and outside parts on all medium and heavy duty vehicles. The amount of the increase is $175,000 for a new annual amount of $300,000. This amount is needed to go through contract date of April 7th, 2022. And that's the same reasoning for the first 3 because of staffing shortages and parts increased cost. And we do have the funds in the municipal garage fund to cover this. Item 4, Fleet Management Division, Public Works, purchase of 2 Vector 2100i sewer cleaners from Sansom Equipment Company in the amount of $945,351. This purchase utilizes Sourcewell Contract 122017-FSC-2. Fifth, Citywide Services Division of Public Works, purchase of 1 Caterpillar PM 620 cold planer with extended warranty from Stowers Machinery Corporation in the amount of $646,892.50. This purchase utilizes the state of Tennessee contract SWC 225-72872. Sixth, from Citywide Services Division of Public Works, purchase of 1 Volvo DD25 asphalt compactor with extended warranty from Ascendum Machinery, Inc. in the amount of $47,347. This purchase utilizes Sourcewell Contract 032119-VCU. Seventh, Citywide Services Division of Public Works. This is a change order on purchase order 105614 with Road Tech, Inc. with an increased amount of $348.56 and a final amount of $46,414.10. Eighth, from the Facilities Division of Public Works, we have a request to increase the contract with King Door Company for door inspection, maintenance, installation, and repair services citywide. The amount of the increase is $50,000 for a new annual amount of $150,000 contract usage has been greater than originally estimated, and the increase is needed to cover services until contract renewal of May 27th, 2022. Ninth, from the mayor's office, we have contract award for RFP 200080, ARP Technical and Advisory Services. Recommended awardee for community engagement services is Thomas Consulting. This will be a one-year contract in the amount of $131,625. 10th, also from the mayor's office, contract award for RFP 20080, ARP Technical Advisory Services. Recommended awardee for data monitoring and reporting is UHY Advisors Mid-Atlantic, Inc. This will be a 3-year contract with an amount not to exceed $125,000 per year. And finally, also from the mayor's office, contract award for RFP 20080, ARP Technical Advisory Services. Recommended awardee for data monitoring and reporting is Tyler Technologies, Inc. This will be a 3-year contract with an amount not to exceed $98,100 per year.
Councilwoman Burrs. Was that a second? All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve tonight's purchases with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill. Councilman Ledford. Councilman Hester. Councilwoman Burrs. Councilman Byrd. Councilwoman Coonrod. Vice Chairman Smith. Chairman Henderson.
Yes,
8 yeses.
so moved.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. We have one RFP format recommended for approval. This is an RFP for management of a homeless encampment site. There are many solutions for managing the site, and the awarded agency will take the lead with determining the best strategy. We are requesting approval to issue the RFP, not approval to award any contracts at this time. An RFP is necessary as opposed to a sealed bidding process because there is more than one solution to the scope requested, and competitive proposals will assist in selecting the best solution.
All right. Councilman Ledford.
Move to approve RFP bid.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve tonight's RFP recommendation with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Coonrod. Councilman Byrd. Councilwoman Burrs. Councilman Hester. Councilman Ledford. Councilwoman Hill. Vice Chairman Smith. Chairman Henderson.
Yes,
8 yeses.
motion does carry.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That takes us to committee reports. We'll start this evening with Councilwoman Hill.
Here, we had a meeting of the Education and Innovation Committee this afternoon where we looked at the diversity of our boards and commissions and the tidying and cleanup work that the Innovation Department has been doing.
Thank you. Councilman Ledford. Councilman Hester. Councilwoman Burrs. Vice Chair Smith.
No report, Mr. Chair.
Councilman Byrd.
No report.
Councilwoman Coonrod. Thank you. All right, that takes us through our agenda items for this afternoon and brings us to the time that we recognize persons wishing to address the council. Do we have anybody present with us this afternoon that would like to address the council? Okay, if you'll give us just a minute, I'm going to ask the city attorney if she would read the rules to address the council, and then you can begin by coming down to the podium.
All right, so line up at the podium and speak only from the microphone. After being addressed, we will put 3 minutes on the clock and ask that you limit your remarks to issues that are in the purview of the council.
All right. Mr. IT, if you'd give us 3 minutes, sir. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Joshua Capellish. I'm an advocate for homeless persons' rights, and I want to thank you for taking the time today to approve, something that I think has been on a lot of people's hearts. I just sat down there and prepared a speech, and honestly, I'm speechless. So, I'll get through this, what I have to say, but I think it's all on our hearts. And as we progress further as a city, I want to thank everyone from the mayor's office and everyone that's considering, some options that I think are pretty obvious that we can do pretty quickly. I've been in contact with quite a bit of people over this past week, from the government and nonprofits, and researching things from individuals to grassroots level, things that people have done in other cities, and things that we can come up with here in our own city. A lot of people call Chattanooga home. They're just not sheltered. And the definition of a shelter is a place that provides protection from bad weather and, sometimes people that wish to do harm. And so, securing a place, literally the ground to walk on and be, is important. And I think we're taking the right steps with people who are in the city employed to do that, defining a space, whether it's 10 by 10 or whatever it is, but just having a place for these people to exist, I think is important. And it gives a lot of dignity and humanity and restores a sense of mental security for someone to have a place that is at least a shelter. And it may not be a home forever, but a home for now. And with regard to all the, things that people encounter out there and things that I've personally witnessed and have had, my son help me with different things, but basically, we're creating a space for people that are in need in our city, and weather's upon us. It's wintertime, and I don't think of a better gift you could give someone, considering Christmas is a home, a place where they can secure their valuables, the little that they have, whether it's a sleeping bag, some non-perishable food. And, that house we built last week, I didn't know who to give it to, and God figured it out. A veteran was in it the next day with his service dog, a veteran of the Air Force. I'm a veteran of the Air Force, and my sergeant from Germany works at the food bank, and we got him some food, and, we are actually just spending time with him today and are doing what we can. So there's one less homeless veteran in Chattanooga, and I want to thank you, everyone here, for taking the time and giving me, my 3 minutes. And so I think as we move forward, I think I have a lot of hope in my heart and humanity, and for this city. We have the best city, the best people. We have God-given natural resources around us, and it's a bustling economy. It's where you want to live, and we know that because people are building and growing, and so we must grow together and just not forget the least of us that are among us. So thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, sir.
To the council, my name's Joe Clark. I'm from the west side. Kind of responsible for the voting registration out there on the west side. What has happened on the street I live on is Boynton Drive, and I've been trying my best to get some speed humps out there. We're having some problems. I talked to the Public Works, and he told me they got some speed humps. They got some crosswalks out there, not such. He said they consider that the speed humps, but they go through there like they at the Indianapolis Speedway. About 3 years ago, on Boynton Drive and Boynton Avenue, a lady got hit with one of her little buggies coming over to lunch, and it was a hit and run. They still hadn't caught him. She stayed in the hospital for about 3 months, and things of that sort. They don't have no speed humps, don't have nothing over there on for us to get by. And we got 5 buildings out there, it's senior buildings, and they had to come across the street over there across the street to get to the lunch program. And coming across the street, practically everybody there, if not on walkers, they're driving the little buggies. They're driving what they ride in. And what has happened, if the people park on one side of the street, you can't see. So therefore, I talked to Mr. Allgood, who said he was over all the speed humps of that sort. We got one speed hump on there from ML King to down at the project stand through there on Grave Drive. And the speed hump is in front of don't know who the person is, but speed hump is down there in front of a single apartment. I see a police car parked down there, so I'm trying to want to know if this is a speed hump just because where the police car parked, and it got me wondering. And there's another thing. Miss lady over public housing complained that the mayor was out there when dedicated the remodeling of one of the buildings out there, and the mayor was out there, and they put up, and Miss Bess McCray was talking about how much time to put in for. Sorry about this. How much time to put in out there for a clinic? That clinic's been open for the last quite a number of time, and I bet it hadn't. It's been there, not open. I bet it haven't been open a week. Haven't been open a whole day since it's been there. And with this epidemic going around, everybody out there, I got about 7 buildings out there. And these folks have to go way across town or either out there on Amcola Highway just to get their shot. And I wouldn't want to know if you brag about putting that much money in a place out there, how come it can't be used? And I called someone and they told me that you had to talk to the health department. So I'd like to see my good councilman do something, to see something about this.
Mr. Joe, what district are you in? Are you in District 8? No? What? It's District 7? Okay.
And I can't
In the west side, okay, all right.
And I can't understand.
So I'm gonna, I'll tell you what, if you would get with me after the meeting, I want to get your name and the contact information, and I'll give that to Councilwoman Dotley, and then I'll get her with you and see if she can help you navigate some of this for us. Okay?
I would sure appreciate it.
Thank
you.
you. Just hang on. Just hang on after the meeting.
And I hate to go over the time, but at my age, I just need to do that because I'm on a walking now.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Is there anyone else that would like to address the council this afternoon? Anyone else by a show of hands? Council, I am seeing no hands. What is your privilege? So moved. We're adjourned. Merry Christmas.